It's 100 degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling his tea, spilling and sipping his tea, spilling and sipping his tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your 100 degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your 100 degrees, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling 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 and sipping this tea. It's 100 degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your 100 degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your 100 degrees, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea.
What's going on, Diamond Gang? We are back. We back with another war update. Guys, I told y'all. I told y'all. I said this quite a few live streams ago that Trump was going to mock the Obama deal. I said that we were going to release more assets this time than the Obama administration. MAGA is upset. Netanyahu is even more upset. Okay? So we was really close. We were really close. Okay? Until he got the backlash. So we're going to get into a few things. Please, as you come and hit the like, all opinions are respected here, even if it's opposing to mine. You just can't be disrespectful. Once you're disrespectful, my mods will remove you. So y'all know how it go. I don't want to keep stopping it to beg for likes. So please, please, please hit the like as you come in. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my screen up and we're going to get into it. Let me make myself a little smaller. Hold on, guys. All right, we good to go. Let's go. We got a few things to get into. First, we're going to get into what they refuse to tell us or what they try to hide from us. Let's get into it.
There's some other unseen short-term costs, and then there are the longer-term costs. We have also not been told the truth by the Pentagon and by the U.S. military, frankly, about the extent of the damage. I mean, I talked to people in the Middle East. The extent of the damage to U.S. bases, facilities, embassies across the region, we have no sense of the price tag, the amount of
deficit. And the reason why I am going down this road is because at the end of the day, this was a war of choice. And this was all for what? All for what? If he's mocking the same deal and he's putting the same deal that he tore up in place, but he's putting them, the Iranians, in a better position, what was this for? What was this war for? Let's go, Diamond Gang.
How long some of those facilities are going to be offline. We've also spent down an extraordinary amount of U.S. munitions that we brought from places like Asia, leaving South Korea more vulnerable, to try to defend all of these facilities and our allies. What have we learned? Shahzad Iranian drones that you can make in your garage have hit our bases, have hit our Gulf Arab allies. An aircraft carrier cannot stop a speedboat from closing the Strait of Hormuz. And so it undermines the entire...
I told all of you guys, we will be alienated, okay, as a country. We have a stain on us. We received a warning from Russia, okay? We're going to get into that warning as well.
Higher concept that America is a security guarantor, both in terms of our predictability and reliability, and our not doing something as stupid as launching a regime change war against Iran, but also just in terms of our capacity and our understanding of where war is moving after Ukraine and Iran. Then I think there are going to be massive geopolitical shifts here. First of all, the Iranian regime, because of the war and the assassination of Ali Khamenei, the spring leader, who, nobody is shedding a tear for, but it's actually more hardline now. Iran is now run by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps.
And I've been saying this for over a month, that the regime is now more hardline, okay?
That has demonstrated that they can control the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's fossil fuel energy flows. That is a huge deal. The Gulf Arab allies have played along with a concept in which we provide their security and they provide the energy. And that's kind of how the whole global economy works. Well, now their dependence on America has...
Diamond Gang, please, 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 and thank you. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. You said Netanyahu paid him to bomb Iran? Go Democrat Party for stability at least? Yeah. Okay. You don't have to be here. You can go. You don't have to be here. So since it's garbage, I'm going to do you a favor and escort you out. Bye. But the moment you're disrespectful, you got to go. Okay, this is a free space for you to speak how you feel. Okay, you can say what you got to say. Your opinions matter, even if it's opposing to mine. So let's go. But the moment you disrespectful, you got to go. There's tons of people live right now. You don't have to be here. All I'm asking for, please and thank you. Can you please hit the like as you come in? All right, let's go.
Because they are American allies. And we could not defend them. And that is going to lead them, I think, to start hedging against the United States and looking towards China. And then if you look,
hold on.
For change, or the United States, where you have a president who's been imposing tariffs, shaking you down for essentially tribute payments like he's done to the Gulf. America is not the stable bet. We are kind of the rogue nation in the world. And so I think what you're going to see in the long run, it puts at risk the dollar as the world's reserve currency. The dollar, I think most Americans don't realize what allows us to sustain our standards of living.
That part right there, the dollar. Okay. Listen up, gang.
Which already feel like they're at risk because of rising prices, is the fact that we can take on so much debt because the whole world transacts through the dollar. Well, and that includes oil trades, importantly.
Thank you, Marlo, the OG. I appreciate you. Yes, please, please, please hit the like, please, and thank you.
You're already seeing some nations begin to move away from that. And if that is the case, then that is truly the end of not just kind of American hegemony, but America's capacity to sustain its fiscal situation. So there's a lot happening right now.
There are Israeli interests, and there are...
Now we're about to get into, and I apologize, I got distracted trying to remove those that don't belong out of my chat. Now we are going to get into the interests of Israel, the U.S., and Iran talk, okay? We're going to get into this.
American interests. What's going to come first here?
First and foremost, the American interest. Yes, we are striking also in Iran, but the U.S. will...
Because at the end of the day, Israel is dependent on us.
Determine the outcome. So we have dual problems. One, that we don't have an influence on Trump, and the second one, this Trump...
Now this right here, I beg to differ. Netanyahu has a big influence on Trump, okay?
Who decide to do something, Netanyahu doesn't have the mechanism actually to challenge Trump. So this is where we are right now, and I think this is why Netanyahu is working very hard behind the scene to prevent a deal. But if Trump will decide to reach a deal, this is it.
Netanyahu can do nothing.
Exactly. He cannot do nothing, and even worse than that, for the future, he cannot do nothing, because this war actually exposed the fact that we are highly dependent.
Let me tell you something. Netanyahu does not want this war to end. As a matter of fact, he would be happy if it turned into World War III. He would be just perfectly fine with that. Not only that, once it is all said and done and it is done and over, he will have to answer for his war crimes, okay?
On U.S. in any future attack against Iran.
It's been widely reported Prime Minister Netanyahu is one of the key figures that encouraged
that part. Netanyahu has a big hold on America, not only Trump. Absolutely. Israel altogether.
President Trump to go to war with Iran, although it was the president's decision ultimately. Was it a mistake?
Definitely it was a mistake. It was a mistake, but built a flawed assumption that the regime is weak and he can topple the...
That part right there. He said, was it a mistake? He said it was a big mistake to go to war with Iran. Again, okay, Netanyahu made President Trump believe that it would be easy, that we were going to just go in there, unalive their leaders, tackle the regime. They weren't going to fight back, and it was going to be an easy takeover. Again, that's why he called it a 4 to 6 week excursion. Okay? That turned into months now, and we're still in the same place since the beginning of this war.
Regime. And actually, what we have right now, yes, maybe we have some achievements, but in the end of the day, we have to remember one important thing, that we seek to exploit the weakness of the regime, and in the end of the day, we strengthen it. Now, even more than that, another problem that we have right now is what's happening within the US. Israel is perceived as the country that actually pushed President Trump to this flawed war. Now, if it's true or not, it doesn't matter. This is the perception in the US public. And it's another element because we already have multiple problems in the perception regarding Israel within the Democratic parties and even elements with the Republican Party. So adding to that, this is a mounting problem to Israel in terms also regarding the future, because the US support to Israel is the basic pillar of the Israeli strategy, the security strategy, the economical strategy.
You guys hear that? So they rely on us heavily, okay?
Diplomatic strategy. Without that, we are losing a lot of our ability to deter our enemies and also preserve our presence in this region. And this is
Please, 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 and thank you. Can you guys please hit the like for me? It helps keep me in the algorithm. Please and thank you. If you would like to support the channel, the Cash App is pinned, but I really need you guys to like this video.
Another unfortunate bypass or byproduct of this war itself.
Do you think the US and Iran will sign a deal?
Well, it's the Middle East, so we don't know, and the mistrust is high. I can say that we are as closest as we ever been to a deal.
We were close until his MAGA base got upset about it. Not only the MAGA base, but Netanyahu as well. Okay, we're going to get into what happened in the back and forth between MAGA and Trump.
But it doesn't say we'll have a deal. We have to remember one important thing. The President Trump has between bad and worse option. He doesn't have good option. He can return back to war, but then he will tell, but the war won't capitulate this regime. He can continue the blockade, but nothing will happen except the oil price will be high and high and high and higher. Because the Iranians won't capitulate then. So I don't think that he has other choice by reaching a deal with the Iranians. Now, having said that, I'm not saying the deal is 100% because of the mistrust, but the fact that you have so many countries supporting it.
Listen, President Trump is in a lose-lose situation. And the reason why I say that is because he knows this war is so unpopular that if he does decide to restart this and start bombing Iran, the majority of the people were against it, okay? Now, if he makes a deal, and the deal that's presently on the table mocks Obama. So if he takes the deal, MAGA, the Republican-based party, they're going to be upset with him, okay? His administration, they're going to be upset with him. So Trump, either way he goes, he's in a lose-lose situation.
And the fact that President Trump is interested in ending the war and the Iranians don't seek endless war, I think that we can assume that they will probably overcome the gap that they have and reach some sort of MOU that will allow them to end this war. Again, having said that, this is the Middle East, but I think that we are close as we ever been.
Still, do you think Israel will effectively play a spoiler here?
Israel cannot play a spoiler here. Well, theoretically we can. Practically, we can't. We cannot do anything that will contradict President Trump's willingness. That is.
Let me say this. He said that they can't do anything that would contradict Trump. Netanyahu has done that multiple times. When Lebanon was put on the table, when they issued the ceasefire, what did Israel do? They bombed them. They still were bombing them. So then Trump said they were part of the ceasefire. Israel said no, they wasn't. Trump met with Netanyahu, convinced him to do the ceasefire. It was supposed to be for 3 weeks. He wanted to end it a week early, but he never stopped bombing them. That's the problem. He can't get a hold of Netanyahu. But let's go.
Something that we have to remember. Yes, Israel can do things, Lebanon, Iran, whatever. But in the end of the day, if President Trump will decide to reach an agreement, Israel will be the last country that will oppose it or be against it or try to do.
And I do have a piece in here. They are starting to leave him out during some talks. Okay, They are leaving Benjamin Netanyahu out of some of the negotiations that's going on with the Middle Eastern countries. And I'll let you guys hear that too.
Something to spoil that because of the fact that Prime Minister Netanyahu is highly dependent on President Trump. And even more than that, he's, I think, afraid even that if he will do something that contradicts President Trump's policy, then Israel and him himself will pay the price for it.
Yeah, President Trump says the deal to end the war will be announced.
Come on, gang. I got almost 150 in the building, 10 likes. I need y'all, please, please, please hit the like. I do not want to stop to beg for likes. Please and thank you.
Soon, but here's the thing. He's packed a lot of caveats with this announcement. Trump says the deal has largely been negotiated, but it's not done. It still needs sign off from all the parties.
That is correct. There is no negotiations. Here's the deal. He's putting it out there. Iran is denying it. But we'll get into that.
Involved. Overnight, President Trump confidently declaring a peace deal with Iran will be announced shortly. Trump saying the agreement has been largely negotiated and remains subject to finalization by all parties. The president vows the deal will open the Strait of Hormuz. Trump made the announcement after a call with Gulf leaders and officials from Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and a separate call with Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu.
There's been some progress done, some progress made.
Iran's foreign ministry saying the two sides are in the final stages of drafting a framework that would give 30 to 60 days to hash out a broader agreement.
Now we're going to get into everything that happened this weekend. Okay.
They want to settle so badly. We have the greatest military.
What's unclear is if this agreement includes a deal on uranium enrichment, missiles, or nuclear dust. It's been 2 months.
I don't understand. Why not get the straits open and come back, you know, as far as the negotiating the enriched uranium, the frozen assets. Why not? Let's get the straits open first.
Since Trump vowed to obliterate Iran's power plants within 48 hours if Iran didn't fully open the Strait of Hormuz. The strait is still closed and the cost is hitting home with gas prices soaring. But Trump insists that pain will be short-lived.
By the way, the oil prices are going to tumble as soon as I finish up with Iran.
But it's not just gas at the pump. Food and airfare are also surging because of the war. Some Americans forced to pull back plans for the big travel weekend.
I know a lot of individuals who are suffering tremendously under increases in
that part. You said we lost, give it up now, Trump. He will not. And this is he's put himself to where his back is against the wall on both sides.
Pricing for food, for gas, for everything.
Well, and overnight, some big concerns over an Iran deal from Israel. A source familiar with the situation tells ABC News that there is serious concern and disappointment because Israel says it signals to Iran they can use the Strait of Hormuz as a weapon. Netanyahu is scheduled to hold a security meeting with his defense officials later today.
It is now day 86 of the U.S.-Israeli war.
All right, so let's get into it. We're going to do the roundup of the last 24 hours.
On Iran. Here's a roundup of what happened in the past 24 hours. President Donald Trump announced yesterday that a peace agreement with Iran is largely negotiated, though he stated he's in no rush for its finalization.
Listen, he was promoting this all day, Friday evening, Saturday, during the day. We are so close to an agreement until MAGA spoke out. Until they start sending those tweets. And we'll get into the back and forth.
Officials from both nations have signaled progress on a memorandum of understanding to end the war, with a first phase involving an immediate 60-day ceasefire, reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and partial sanctions relief, as well as a second phase following the 60-day window to discuss and finalize the nuclear issue. Iran's Tasnim news agency reported today that U.S. obstruction over several points in the peace deal, including the release of frozen Iranian assets, remains unresolved. According to the report, the possibility of the agreement collapsing still exists. Tehran has reportedly informed mediators that it will not sign the memorandum.
Now, in regards to Israel and Lebanon, I think that is going to be potentially down the line. If and when they start negotiating, it's going to be a problem. Okay.
Unless all clauses are fully agreed upon and guaranteed. A senior Iranian source speaking to Reuters denied reports by the New York Times and Axios claiming Tehran had agreed to hand over its highly enriched uranium stockpile. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghai stated that nuclear issues are not part of the current negotiations, as Iran maintains that the current framework is strictly about ending the military conflict, lifting the naval blockade, and releasing frozen assets. Amid the ongoing talks, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu emphasized in a call with Trump that Israel must maintain freedom of action against
Gang, do you hear that? This is the problem right here.
threats, including those in Lebanon, regardless of any U.S.-Iran deal. This comes as Israeli airstrikes across southern Lebanon killed at least 14 people today. According to the Lebanese health ministry, these latest strikes have pushed the...
What's up, Yellow Summer? You said, and I am right at least about that.
total death toll since March 2nd to 3,151 people, with over 9,500.
All right, I have. Is it AK? He said, or she said, I have faith in our president. Okay.
Others wounded. In a speech marking Resistance and Liberation Day today, Hezbollah Secretary General Sheikh Naim Qassem said Hezbollah rejects any discussions over a defensive strategy before.
I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a potential problem if and when they start negotiating.
Or Israeli aggression stops and its forces fully withdraw from Lebanon, prisoners are released, and the Lebanese people return to their homes. He added that the weapons will remain in our hands until the Lebanese state is able to perform its duty, adding that if the government is incapable of securing sovereignty, let it resign.
Netanyahu is reportedly furious and panicked.
Now we're getting ready to get into it because he was definitely panicking
after Donald Trump has sidelined both him and the Israeli government in the current talks with Iran. This news follows an hour-long, highly charged phone call between Trump and Netanyahu, where he informed him the international mediators were drafting a formal letter of intent to freeze current hostilities and launch a month-long U.S.-Iran negotiation window. Just a couple of days ago, Trump signaled to Netanyahu the U.S. was ready to launch targeted airstrikes against Iran. However, following alleged pressure from Gulf nations, Trump abruptly halted the strikes in favor of a deal. Netanyahu strongly pushed back, arguing fiercely against diplomacy and urging Trump to resume military pressure.
You guys hear that?
According to a U.S. source briefed on the call, Netanyahu was so visibly shaken and furious during the disagreement that his hair was on fire. But according to new reports, this goes deeper than one conversation. Two unnamed Israeli defense officials confirmed that Israel...
Again, okay, once this stops and it's all said and done, he will have to answer for both of those warrants for his arrest.
Has been cut almost entirely out of the loop regarding the actual parameters of the current talks. Since they're no longer in the room, Israeli intelligence agencies now have to rely on roundabout avenues, back-channel diplomatic connections, and espionage sources just to figure out what Iran and the United States is agreeing to. And that's exactly how it should be.
The White House is scrambling this evening.
Did you guys hear that? So they're keeping him up out of some of these meetings. I'm going to play it back. Please pay attention, gang. Listen.
Confirmed that Israel has been cut almost entirely out of the loop regarding the actual parameters of the current talks.
So they have been cut out of the loop. Diamond Gang, please, 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 and thank you. I got 193 in the building. Can you please hit the like? Please and thank you. This channel is not monetized. If you would like to support the channel, the Cash App is pinned. But I need you guys to please hit the like.
They're no longer in the room, Israeli intelligence agencies now have to rely on roundabout avenues, back-channel diplomatic connections, and espionage sources just to figure out what Iran and the United States is agreeing, and that's how it should be.
The House is scrambling this evening, urging Republican members of Congress.
Listen, they wanted them to tweet in favor of this deal, okay, to show their support. Let's take a listen.
Capitol support of Donald Trump and his Iran deal, as the Iran deal is on the brink of possible collapse right now. According to Punchbowl News, the White House has spent the past 24 to 48 hours urging Republicans in Congress to tweet their support for the president. It comes as multiple Republican senators, from Tom Tillis to Ted Cruz to even Lindsey Graham at first, coming out and saying, what kind of deal are you putting us through, when the initial kind of terms of the Iran deal.
Hold on. I just seen a comment in here about MAGA not erupting. Somebody said MAGA is not erupting. They are highly upset. They had a back and forth online, but we'll get into that.
Were released. Well, now, hours later, Trump seemingly is backing off the initial deal. Iran believes that the United States may be backing off as well, and the full deal is at least days away from being scrambled. So we'll see what happens as we head into this next week with Memorial Day tomorrow. I'll have more updates for you very soon. As always, spread the word and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come very soon.
CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinogradov. She is a former assistant secretary for counterterrorism at the Department of Homeland Security. Sam, good morning. It's great to see you.
Good morning, Ouija.
So a U.S. official tells CBS News that a deal is imminent. President Trump says, though, he doesn't want negotiators to rush into anything. And it feels like we've been in this very place for months now. So
time and time again, we have been here. And like she is about to say, they are slow at negotiating. And guess why? They don't trust us. They specifically asked for J.D. Vance again. Okay, they want nothing to do with Kushner and Witkoff. But let's go.
Where are we?
Well, Ouija, if anyone is waking up this morning with a sense of deja vu, they are not alone. We are both seemingly on the cusp of a deal, really, to talk about a deal, an interim agreement that would open the Strait of Hormuz and really lay out a framework for negotiations on the thorny issue of Iran's nuclear program. But at the same time, President Trump and his officials are stating that military operations could resume if negotiations fall through. So it's unclear where we really are. But Ouija, having worked on these kinds of high-level negotiations for the U.S. government, including with the Iranians, I do want to emphasize that these ups and downs are not unusual. Negotiating with the Iranians is known to be a roller coaster. The 2015 Iran nuclear deal took 20 months to negotiate, and there were a lot of fits and starts. So it's not.
So I can imagine, okay, if the deal that Obama put in place, it was up to 22 months they were in negotiations. Just imagine, okay? They were in a 6th round of negotiations when we struck them this time. Last year, they were in the midst of negotiations, okay? They do not trust us. So they are standing their ground.
Unusual that we see these ups and downs. It's just unusual it's all playing out so publicly.
And Sam, based on the little information we know so far about this current framework, some Republicans, including Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, they're already criticizing President Trump because they say this looks a lot like the deal that President Obama put.
Bingo. This looks a lot like the deal President Obama put on the table. But let me tell you the difference, okay? Trump is definitely going to release more of their money. Obama got 95% of the enriched uranium out. Let them have one program, just one. So let's get into it.
Together that the U.S. entered, and then, of course, President Trump pulled out of. So what does the president have?
Oh, not only that, oversight. We had oversight. We had people watching what they were doing, okay? Monitoring them.
Have to do here to make it look different from that other deal?
Well, while we
Israel's intelligence agreed that Obama's plan was working, and so did the U.S., okay? That their, plan that they had put in place was working perfectly fine. Why President Trump tore it up? You see where he at now? His deal will mock it. And I've said this time and time again.
don't know not only what President Trump wants from the Iranians this time, we also don't know what the Iranians will agree to in this round of negotiations.
The only difference, too, is that Obama didn't have to drop a bomb to get this deal in place. And the straits remained open the entire 20-something months they were negotiating. Okay? So again, what was this war for? What was it for? Let's go.
Negotiations. But if we look back at the 2015 nuclear deal, critics at the time focused on the fact that that deal only attacked the Iranian nuclear program. It did not.
Thanks for pulling up, Marie. I was doing it by myself. I was trying, but let's go. On my phone trying to block people. Now I only had to throw one troll out, so we good. Let's go.
For example, address Iranians' missile capabilities, which were used to continue destabilizing the region. They also focused on the fact that Iran did get certain sanctions relief and access to funds that had been frozen abroad. The critics claimed.
Happy Memorial Day, everybody. I forgot to say that. Marie, life be life. And so I know it's a holiday. Hey, I'm happy to see people even in here.
The regime was using to continue to wreak havoc. And they also focused, when it came to the limits that the deal put on Iran's nuclear program, they focused on the fact that Iran was allowed to continue a very low level of enrichment of uranium.
And that's what they're talking about, that one program that Obama allowed them to have. It was a very small program. And again, he got 95% of their enriched uranium up out of there without dropping a bomb, okay? Without the straits being closed, okay? And he did release some of their frozen assets, but it won't be as much as Trump will release to them when it's all said and done. Trump is going to give them more and put them in a better position. You watch.
Could be used for civilian purposes. So today, those critics probably want to see President Trump get the Iranians to agree to remove any vestige of its nuclear program, including its civilian nuclear program, from Iran, including its uranium and potentially plutonium enrichment capabilities, its research and development capabilities, its advanced machinery, and more. And they probably also want to see the deal include some focus on Iran's missile capabilities and no sanctions relief.
All right, but Sam, we went from the president saying that in the only acceptable terms were unconditional surrender to now negotiations and diplomacy. What leverage does the United States actually have to permanently keep the straits open and to eliminate?
Listen, Trump is ready to move on to Cuba. Not only that, it's like we were threatened by Russia. Okay? They contacted Marco Rubio today. Like, this is getting crazy, but let's go. We were threatened by China somewhat in regards to Taiwan. Let's go. Another decision that he's going to have to make, whether or not he's going to supply them with that weapon package or not. So Trump is getting it from all different directions. That's why he's up all night on Truth Social, talking crazy.
Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Well, Vlad, there's really two tracks here, and this is where it probably comes back to President Trump listening to his intelligence community. One track is military operations. Certainly, the United States has shown that it can continue to target senior Iranian officials as well as Iranian infrastructure to try to use military might to force the regime to crumble. That has not proven successful so far.
I don't want to say that, Yellow Summer, because I hope and pray that it doesn't come to that, but it's getting scary like it is, like it will be a World War III.
Far. So the other tool that the United States has is financial pressure in the form of its military blockade. The Iranian regime certainly has a lot of leverage in terms of the economic pressure it's putting on the United States, as well as the global economy.
New overnight, Iran is insisting a deal is not close. And
you hear that? They said a deal is not close. Some people were saying market manipulation again, and we're going to go over how many investments he has done, how much he has grossed since he's been in the office. He is enriching himself. He don't care about the mass destruction that he's causing, okay? He don't care. Let's go.
Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson said negotiations are focused only on an end to the war, and they're not currently discussing nuclear issues. A U.S. official had said Iran would agree in principle to dispose of its enriched uranium and could receive sanctions relief in return.
We're going to give diplomacy every chance to succeed before we explore the alternatives.
On Sunday, a senior Trump administration official had said a potential deal between the U.S. and Iran would be a two-step process. First, Iran would reopen the Strait of Hormuz. In exchange, the U.S. would lift its blockade on Iranian ports. The moves aim.
You said, is it how to live? I will be quiet until the markets open tomorrow.
At easing oil and gas prices.
The bottom line is once the straits are open, then the tankers are going to go back.
But senators from both parties said an end to Iran's nuclear program is key to any deal.
When you're digging a hole, you should stop digging. That's what this agreement sounds like.
Some lawmakers.
You hearing? Okay, we getting ready to get into it.
And Trump allies remain critical, including his former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, who said it was not remotely America first. On Truth Social, the president hit back. It isn't even fully negotiated yet, so don't listen to the losers.
The idea that
who said that they MAGA wasn't upset? Somebody said that earlier in the chat during the uproar.
Now, this president, given everything he's already proven he's willing to do, is going to somehow agree to a deal that ultimately winds up putting Iran in a stronger position when it comes to nuclear ambitions is absurd. That's just not going to happen.
Well, the president has said he doesn't want to rush a deal. He told CBS News that negotiators were getting closer, adding, "I will only sign a deal."
Right. He promoted that until MAGA spoke out.
Where we get everything we want. This morning, Secretary Rubio made it clear that if talks with Iran fail, other options to end the war could be explored.
Hey guys, good morning. The Trump
Mitch, I didn't know you had to work. Thanks for stopping through. Let's go.
Administration says a deal with Iran is 95% complete, but final details are still being worked out. Yesterday, on a small call with reporters, a senior administration official indicated that it may take several days to reach a memorandum of understanding with Iran because the system there doesn't move as fast as the United States would like. The official added the current plan is to formally.
And why would they? They don't trust us. Hit the like, y'all, please.
End the war and open the Strait of Hormuz without tolls before eventually dealing with all enriched nuclear material in Iran and not permitting further enrichment. Now, Iran will receive billions of dollars worth of assets unfrozen.
You hear that? They will receive billions of dollars. Okay? He just said it.
Along with oil sanctions waivers. U.S. officials say that will only take place if they uphold their end of the bargain. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said this today about the negotiations.
We're still a work in progress. We have what I think is a pretty solid thing on the table in terms of their ability to open up the straits, get the straits open, enter into a very real, significant, time-limited negotiation on the nuclear matters, and hopefully we can pull it off. It has a lot.
And he is so, I don't know, delusional at this point, where he's actually saying how dumb Obama's deal was, but he's mocking it. He's doing the same deal, but giving them more.
A lot of support in the Gulf. There's a lot of support globally. Every country that we've walked through it understands it's not just very reasonable, but it's the right thing for the world to get done. As the president said, he's not in a hurry. He's not going to make a bad deal.
On Sunday, President Trump.
He's trying to reassure the party. That's what Rubio is doing, damage control.
Trump said in part in a post on Truth Social, if I make a deal with Iran, it will be a good and proper one, not like the one made by Obama, which gave Iran.
You hearing? Not like the one made by Obama. You damn right it's not like the one Obama made. Because again, Obama didn't have to strike or go to war. The straits remained open. He got 95% of the enriched uranium. They're not even willing to give it to you yet. No, it's not his.
Massive amounts of cash and a clear and open path to a nuclear weapon. Our deal is the exact.
Did you hear that? but you're giving them way more than what Obama gave them. Like, is this delusion? This is delusion.
Opposite, but nobody has seen it or knows what it is. It isn't even fully negotiated yet. A military advisor to Iran's supreme leader also spoke about the negotiations overnight, saying this.
About negotiation, the Islamic Republic has put the least costly path before you. The Islamic Republic is telling you that if you continue the war, we will make the American people miserable and the American economy miserable. Iran.
Did you hear that? And they're not only making America miserable, they're doing it globally. Everyone is suffering behind this.
Is here for a fair negotiation with you.
The bottom line here, both sides say an agreement is close, but
so once again, they threatened us. They threatened us again.
Still a lot of details to be worked out as it relates to the Strait of Hormuz and the country's nuclear program and what exactly the Iranians will get in return. Guys?
All right, great job.
Thanks, Trey. So here's why some analysts are saying that President Trump has been checkmated on Iran. First, a quote from a...
Pay attention. Checkmated. Hit the like, y'all. Come on, gang. It's taking me all... Listen, I am now streaming on Rumble. So, okay, I try to keep up over here and keep you guys informed. And I'm also over there. This is my second live stream today. Come on, hit the like for your girl. And I put together a little extra over here because I like to go live a little longer. But if you do have a Rumble account, I am over there. The Great Spills the Tea. Same type of content. Okay, same content. Let's go.
Very famous person who wrote back in 2020 that Iran has never won a war, but it's never lost a negotiation. That was President.
I'm going to repeat that. They never won a war, but they never lost a negotiation. Let's go.
President Trump back in 2020. So the basic framework of this deal, both the U.S. and Iran commit to lifting the blockade on the strait, opening up the Strait of Hormuz. Iran will sweep up the mines it laid. Iran is also allowed to sell its oil freely. And as we understand it, billions of dollars of Iranian frozen funds will be unfrozen. That is very important for Iran. I think it's obviously pretty good for consumers worldwide, according to analysts. It will reduce the price of gas, the price of energy worldwide, and free up the many, many container ships.
Did y'all just hear? Did y'all hear that? Okay.
And cargo ships that have been trapped inside the Strait of Hormuz and in the Persian Gulf for months now. On the issue of missiles and Iran's nuclear enrichment program, Iran seems non-committal at this point. They have, I guess, agreed to continue negotiations over the next 60 days on Iran's nuclear capacity and its missile arsenal. Obviously, the U.S. and Israel.
Now, there are some talks about them diluting the uranium. Okay, so that is actually back on the table.
Israel did pretty significant damage to Iran's nuclear capacity. How significant it is, we just don't know at this point. Israeli officials have told me that if Iran can unbury some of the missiles, then
it wasn't significant enough. If they have taken this time, and we went over this 2 days ago, to rebuild their stockpile, then we didn't obliterate enough.
Might have access to about 50%, perhaps more, of their original capacity. As far as its nuclear enrichment program, there are nearly 1,000 pounds of highly or 60% enriched uranium that Iran's.
I gotta say this one. Is it Rob said, looks like Trump is making Iran great again. What a joke.
Still technically has. Can they access it? We don't know. But what appears to be clear is that they are not willing to negotiate that in this particular deal. They want to kick the can down the road. And it seems that President Trump is okay with that.
You hear that? So they want to kick the can down the road. They want to talk about it later. And it seems as President Trump is okay with that. And he was up until he got the call from Benjamin Netanyahu and he got the tweets from the MAGA base. Okay.
Which is one reason that analysts here in Iran and England in Israel are saying that the deal that President Obama brokered in 2016, the JCPOA, was possibly a better deal than what we are going to see.
Y'all hear that? Hey, I've been telling you guys this. I love to be right. Your girl loves to be right. Let me play that back for the people in the back. I've been telling you guys that for over a month now. It will mock it, and this deal will end up putting Iran in a better position and giving them so much more than Obama did. Let me hear this again.
Are saying deal that President Obama brokered in 2016, the JCPOA, was possibly a better deal than what we are going to see right now. And that puts Israel in a bind. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu can't go to Congress as he did and rail against President Obama and President Biden as he has done because President Trump.
Baby, I love to be right. Diamond Gang, hit the like for your girl. Please subscribe to the channel. I do celebrity gossip as well as war updates, and I am also now streaming on Rumble. Let's go, Diamond Gang. If you would like to support the channel, the Cash App is pinned. Let's go.
Is his benefactor. So what Israel does remains unclear. Also, the fate of Hezbollah remains unclear. And I want to read to you, Israel analysts out there, Danny Sinchunovitz. He writes, in the eyes of history, this may go down as one of the most avoidable and poorly conceived wars of our time. A conflict that
I've said this too. I said this whole administration is going to go down in history. Our children's children will be reading about this administration in their history books. This is the worst.
strengthening the very regime it was meant to weaken. It's hard to imagine a more self-defeating outcome.
What we're seeing right now is not really a peace deal.
See a sea of blue, okay? In November. Hold on. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, let's go. Sorry, guys, my screen. Hold on, let me get us where we were. Let me get us where we were. Hold on, hold on, hold on.
There's some other unseen short-term costs, and then there are the longer term.
All right, I think that's where we were. All right, let's go. I hit the keyboard. I hit the keyboard. All right, we almost there.
Know about the report to come very soon.
CBS News national security.
Sorry, guys.
The many, many container ships and cargo ships that have been trapped.
All right. Sorry, guys. This is the second time I got kicked out the studio today. Hold on. All right. Let me bring up my screen again. And hold on. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. Let me put a 1 in the chat for me. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? Let me put my screen back up. Hold on. All right, good, good, good. Thank God. Thanks, guys, that stayed in here. For some reason, this is the second time I got kicked out the studio. So I appreciate the ones that did stay in. Thank you, guys. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. We still in the same spot. Let's go. And I'm going to say this again. That's going to be another roadblock. Hezbollah, that's going to be, I'm telling you guys, another roadblock. You hear that? As far as strengthening, this is sad. What? Did I get kicked out again? Oh, good. I thought I got kicked out again. Hold on, gang. Add my screen to the stage again. I don't know what's going on. Give me a second. I don't know what's going on. Here, let me try to present another screen. Here we go. Here we go. All right, I'll tap it one more time. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. It's acting weird. Here we go. Finally. All right. All right. Cool.
And anyways, what it really is more of a sequencing agreement, the sort of economic and military bleeding that we've been seeing now for several months. Now, of course, this leaves many thorny political issues for much later. But what we are hearing is that the Iranian Foreign Ministry is essentially saying that they are confirmed that negotiators are working on this sort of 14-point memorandum of
understanding, which means let's open the straits, and then we could go back later and talk about the enriched uranium. So let's get into it.
Two main objectives. Now, those objectives are essentially maintaining, or rather ending the war and ending the U.S. naval blockade, which is restricting Iranian oil exports. In exchange, Tehran would guarantee safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz and halt interference with commercial shipping. If that framework holds, both sides would then move to a 30 to 60-day negotiation phase focused on sanctions, assets, and the future of Iran's highly enriched uranium stockpile and nuclear program. But this diplomacy is unfolding under intense pressure. Inside Iran, U.S. intelligence officials tell CBS News the country's new supreme leader, who hasn't been seen publicly since...
Listen, they are saying that he is okay. He is just not in plain sight for fear for his life, but they claim that he is running the show. Let's get into it.
Being selected is operating from an undisclosed location, with limited outside contact, relying on couriers to communicate. There's also the Israel factor. Israeli officials are deeply skeptical of any deal, especially one that would see the end of the war in Lebanon. So really, this is a very complex situation that is unfolding right before our very eyes, and it could all fall apart before the real talks even start.
I really believe that we are going to wake up one morning and he will have launched a first nuclear strike.
The only reason why I don't believe this is because they are so concerned with them losing, okay? I think he would have done it a long time ago.
Believe that this is going to happen because he wants to do it. He no longer has the frontal lobe to give him the restraint, inhibition, and judgment that would cause him to inhibit himself. And he now has a yes man cabinet of true believers and psychopaths who are not going to be.
Now they are starting to speak out more. So I don't think so.
Backstep. We don't have any General Mattises. We don't have any John Kellys. We don't have any Rex Tillersons. There's no more adults in the room. And in fact, we just have a primary. Massey's been thrown out. There literally is no man or woman in elected political office as a Republican who isn't blindly lockstep following him. So I think people need to really get their minds around this. This is going to happen. A lot of times on shows, people say, what can we do? What can we do? And I always turn it around. You tell me who's going to stop it. I mean, we are living in the most surreal circumstances. If Donald Trump were your father or your grandfather.
That part, I believe that. You said MAGA will give Trump credit for victories he never had and blame others for his failures. Listen, he already said whatever deal is placed on the table, he is going to sell it to us as a win, and we will go for that shit. I promise you he said that.
We'd be arguing about whether he could have the car keys, whether he needs in-home care, and there's no one stopping him, even though it's so incredibly obvious. We are literally blindly stumbling towards the apocalypse.
It's now being reported that
that part, he's doing it now. He is.
U.S. and Iran talks have already stalled, and Donald Trump is responding by blaming Barack Obama from negotiations. However, the latest report highlights a growing gap on core issues like the scope of uranium enrichment and the timing of sanctions relief. But as these talks are actively falling apart, Donald Trump is on Truth Social focused on the important.
You see that? He said the two worst presidents in American history. This is what he's doing on Truth Social. You know, this is insane. Again, everyone knows that the deal that he's putting together is mocking this, but his is a little worse.
Things like making posts calling Barack Obama and Joe Biden the two worst presidents in American history. He also made this one saying, don't forget who funded Iran and caused this war to happen, Obama. The timing of this one's also impossible to ignore. It says, let's negotiate, I'll blow shit up. Let's negotiate, I'll blow shit up. Then Trump says, I will blow shit up. Now Iran wants to negotiate. As they're
You see this? This is what he's doing. This is what he is doing on Truth Social. He fell asleep again today.
Actively rejecting our demands. We had a comprehensive agreement with Iran thanks to Obama. Trump tore that agreement up and then started a war with them.
Bingo. Did y'all hear that? That's something I have said multiple times, and I will continue to repeat. That deal that Obama had in place was working. Israel's intelligence seemed to think that it was working, and so did U.S. intelligence. Again, Obama was able to have oversight. He gave them one small nuclear program, and he removed 95% of that enriched uranium. He didn't have to strike a bomb. The Straits of Hormuz stayed open. Again, this was all for nothing. Let's go.
Now he somehow has the audacity to blame Obama and say that he's the one who started the war. This is ridiculous.
Breaking news, President Trump is demanding that Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, Pakistan, and...
Listen, now he's demanding that all the Middle Eastern countries sign this peace deal. Let's take a listen.
Bahrain must immediately sign the Abraham Accords and normalize relations with Israel as a required condition for any ceasefire deal with Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. He told their leaders that refusing would show bad intention and they should not be part of the agreement if they don't sign, while even saying it would be an honor if Iran one day joined the peace group. Right now, Iran's top officials, Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf, Foreign Minister Arachi, and Sanctions Chief Hamadi have flown to Doha in Qatar to meet the Emir and about ending the war and lifting sanctions, with Pakistan's army chief also expected there. Iran says some progress has been made, but no deal is close or imminent. They completely deny any nuclear promises, uranium handover, or secret commitments.
Y'all hear that? Here we go with Trump getting up here telling these stories
In the drafts, calling those reports pure lies and warned that they might cancel the talks. Iran is also asking China for guarantees and wants its enriched uranium moved to Beijing for safety. Meanwhile, reports say—
Did y'all hear that? Remember, they asked last week, they said last week it was Russia. He clearly said China. I'm going to take it back. I got to hear this again. He said China.
Cancel the talks. Iran is also asking China for guarantees and wants its enriched uranium moved to Beijing.
Bingo. They said, so they were close. The rumor was spreading and they asked Rubio. It was either Rubio or J.D. Vance. They asked him, did they hear that Russia, they were going to give the enriched uranium to Russia? He said, no, it's China. Okay? It's the same China that threatened us about Taiwan. Russia, they gave us a warning. Okay, when they was testing the other day. Let's go.
For safety.
They called Rubio today and told him to evacuate. They were dropping bombs again. And we'll get into it. I brought that piece. Y'all think I just say stuff? No.
Meanwhile, reports say Iran has been charging tankers up to $2 million each in Bitcoin to let them pass through the Strait of Hormuz, making around
I told you that. The whole Bitcoin deal in Omar is in cahoots with Iran during this safe passage. I told y'all that last week. I said they are going around us. They are charging Bitcoin and they are working with Omar. At first they wasn't on board with it. And then they changed their minds. They've been getting ships through and they've been charging. Right before Trump went to China, 6 tankers went through. I showed y'all that. They've been playing. They ain't paying Trump no attention. Let's go.
$100 million in just 3 days by waving through about 100 ships outside the dollar system.
Please, y'all, could I get like 30 more likes? Please and thank you. Please, please, please. You can support the channel with a like. It is free. Please and thank you. If you would like to support the channel, the Cash App is pinned. Please subscribe. Also, I am now streaming on Rumble. Let's go.
So with that said, stocks are rising and oil prices are dropping on hopes for peace. Former U.S. envoy Robert Malley warns that Israel will likely keep striking Lebanon after any deal, just like they have in the past ceasefires.
I told you. Israel will keep striking Lebanon, just like they have in the past ceasefires. They never stopped. Trump cannot get a hold of Netanyahu to save his life. Netanyahu got so much influence over him. It is ridiculous. Let's go.
They never abide by them anyways. In my opinion, Trump's push to force the Abraham Accords is way too much. It's sneaky and a horrible idea because the two issues shouldn't be linked at all. After everything Israel's done in the past 3 years, those countries are going to be even more reluctant to sign. On the other hand, Iran's move to charge tankers in Bitcoin is a smart move. It's about time Iran starts thinking about Iran first and making its own money instead of letting the world dictate everything else. Overall,
they've been doing this. They've been charging. And they just started the Bitcoin. I forgot what currency it was prior to, but it wasn't Bitcoin. Let's go.
I believe Iran is the real victor here. Hegemony in the Middle East has shifted from the USA and Israel to Iran. And once this is over, I think it will bring a strong economic boom to both Iran and Lebanon.
Iran says no deal is imminent. Despite Donald Trump claiming that a deal is imminent, Iran now says no deal is imminent. Another sign that...
Who got the cards? Trump said he had all the cards and they laughed at him because it was Uno. You know, when you win Uno, you don't have all the cards. Like, oh goodness.
At these talks between the United States and Iran, well, they're not as close as many in the administration claim them to be. The spokesperson for Iran's negotiating team, according to The Guardian, during a recent press briefing, said, quote, "It is correct to say that we have reached a conclusion on a large portion of the issues under discussion, but to say that this means the signing of an agreement is imminent, no one can make such a claim." And by the way, at the same time, Israel is launching increased strikes in southern Lebanon on Hezbollah.
See that? Israel is our problem. They are. They don't want this to end. Netanyahu does not want this to end, and he's going to do anything and everything to keep it going.
That is supposed to be part of the ceasefire. Any such agreement would have to include that from the Iranian perspective. Trump is demanding that several Arab countries join the Abraham Accords, but multiple countries have already come out and said, we don't necessarily want to do that. So that's kind of where we're at right now. As always, spread the word.
And why? Why? Because of Israel.
Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio. Subscribe for free. Follow along to stay updated on all the news you need to know about. More to come soon.
Israeli politicians are calling for a resumption of intensive warfare in Lebanon as Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered new strikes against the city of Tyre. Israeli bombs began falling on the El Rashdia refugee camp, the largest Palestinian refugee camp in the city. And following these strikes,
again, he never, he never stopped. He's been bombing them the entire time. Loser.
They called for additional strikes on Beirut. Ben-Gvir called for the entire electrical grid for all of Lebanon to be shut off, and they called for Israel to seize everything south of the Zahrani River. Why? Because every single time they breach the ceasefire to attack Lebanon, Hezbollah responds with FPV drones that they cannot counter. A resistance drone today actually successfully entered and destroyed the operating room in the IDF's 401st Brigade headquarters that was set up in Debel in the south of Lebanon. It made the entire operations room non-functional. It targeted their computers, their operators. And this wasn't an attack on Israeli sovereignty. This was an attack on an invading army establishing a military base in Lebanon. Beyond that, resistance drones have also been targeting Israeli troop concentrations using thermal vision, night vision in areas like Biada. Nighttime movement is no longer effective. Israeli soldiers are exposed, even in the dark. These drone operations have disrupted up to 80% of the IDF's ground aggression in the south of Lebanon. So in response, they're calling for an increase of pressure on Lebanon, with politicians like Smotrich saying we need to bring down 10 buildings in the Dahiya in response to every single drone attack. We are about to witness the Lebanon.
They can't compete with those drones. They cannot compete with those drones. And I showed y'all a video of those drones about what? That was last week I showed y'all that video of the news people with the drones, the new drones that they have.
And ceasefire, if you can call it that, fully collapse. And if that happens,
he wants that. And that's why he just keeps going and going and going.
We're about to be heading back into full-scale war.
Breaking news, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Katz just met and are pushing to greatly expand military attacks deep into southern Lebanon, with the army already ready to hit buildings and spots.
This is going to be the cause of this, a part of the reason why these negotiations or these peace talks will not work. Okay? I'm telling y'all this.
They say Hezbollah uses, and that's according to Channel 14 Israeli News, which is basically Netanyahu's mouthpiece in the media. In a new video, Netanyahu bragged that Israel is still at war with Hezbollah, claimed they killed over 600 terrorists lately.
There was never a ceasefire. Trump asked him to do this. Trump said last week, I showed y'all a clip, he's a good guy. He will do whatever I want. That is a damn lie.
And this sounds like to me their justification that they will not abide by Iran's ceasefire. They actually ordered their troops to step on the gas even harder while admitting Hezbollah is firing FPV drones that a special team will supposedly fix. This comes after a brutal month.
And they have always been included. Anytime that Iran has talked, they have been included. Like Netanyahu just don't and won't stop. I know Trump regrets this shit. He got to.
Where 11 Israeli soldiers died, mostly from those drones, plus growing anger from people in northern Israel and sharp criticism inside the army that their current policy isn't creating any real deterrence. Even as Trump pressures them to avoid big strikes, especially in Beirut, in my opinion, this is not justified at all.
AJ, all right, I got my 3 favorite mods in the building. Shouts out to Marie. Shouts out to Mitch. Shouts out to EJ. Okay, I feel good now.
Israel could just pull its soldiers out of Lebanon, and this would be all.
Y'all missed it. I had a couple trolls. I was struggling trying to get them. Messing up on the screen and everything. Let's go.
All over because Hezbollah has said over and over they will not stop as long as Israel occupies Lebanese land. Instead, Netanyahu is choosing to escalate, which will only cause more innocent civilian deaths. And it's disgusting how Trump bends over backwards for him instead of demanding Israel withdraw and end the bloodshed.
That part. He has yet to ask them to withdraw. Now, he asked them as far as the ceasefire, but he's never asked them to withdraw. But I doubt if Netanyahu would do it because he didn't cease when he asked him to. Like, this is insane. Let's go.
And occupation of Lebanon.
We are learning now that Russian foreign minister.
Y'all, Russian gave us a warning, okay? Listen up.
Sergei Lavrov has personally called Secretary of State Marco Rubio and has told him that Russia plans consistent and systematic strikes to Ukraine, particularly in Kiev. And this is going to start here relatively soon. And he told Marco Rubio to evacuate the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine immediately. Guys, this is serious. There were major strikes that took place overnight, and it seems that Russia is planning to ramp those up even more. And what is the United States doing? Just standing by while this happens? What is Trump's response to this going to be? This is going to be very telling as to where this war between Russia and Ukraine is going.
Listen, they threatened to hit our allies, the NATO. Hit the like, y'all. Please, 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 and thank you. I need 20 more likes, please, and thank you. It helps keep me in. It helped to keep me in the algorithm. Thanks. But I told you guys that was. I can't even keep up. Sometimes I'm over here, sometimes I'm on Rumble. But I'm pretty sure I let you guys see the video as far as Russia testing, okay? Now, they hit hard yesterday. They hit Ukraine really hard. And now they're calling. They also threaten to hit NATO, the UN, okay? So this is getting serious.
Going to go? Are we going to abandon Ukraine, or are we going to stand with them and defend against Russian aggression? Remember, Trump said he was going to end this war on day one. He failed to do so. And now we are a year and a half almost into his presidency, and still the war continues with no end in sight. These are not promises made and promises kept. These are promises made and promises broken. He has not fulfilled any of his promises other than the southern border crisis. That is it. Is this what Americans wanted? Higher prices, war continuing between Russia and Ukraine? No. He has failed at that. Let me know what you think. Follow along for more, and I'll see you.
Listen, we're going to go in this. We're not only going to dig into his investments, but we are going to compare his first term to the second term. It's such a big difference. And why? Because certain people were in place to basically stop him from doing crazy stuff. But let's go.
Back here for the 411.
Vice President J.D. Vance is considering abandoning his 2028 run for president. He's feeling more isolated than ever before.
You want to know why J.D. Vance feel isolated? Because he's not outspoken on this war. He is not for it and never has been. Okay? Never has been. I don't care what y'all heard him say when he was on the camera, which was very little. He is against this. Let's go.
Tulsi Gabbard's departure, because his form of foreign policy is not the popular position in the Trump administration. This is new reporting from the Daily Mail. Now, I take anything the Daily Mail says with a grain of salt, but it is not surprising to start hearing this after Tulsi Gabbard left. Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance, they come from the isolationist point of view when it comes to foreign policy. And right now, Marco Rubio's star within the Republican Party is really taking off. Rubio has more leverage, more support within the administration. Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, loves Rubio. And so it's not surprising to see now reports that Vance is reconsidering a 2028 run. Now, that doesn't mean he won't run. He may very well run, and he likely may even still run. And if he ran, he'd still probably be the front runner almost instantly. But the ground is shifting in the Republican Party right now. We'll see how this continues. Spread the word. Follow along for all the news.
Yeah, we see Rubio more than anybody. We see him more than Trump.
News you need to know about.
President Trump has said that he's close to a deal on Iran. If he is, it's probably a loser's deal, because the elements that are being talked about, if they become part of the deal, don't actually add up to very much. There's a complex package at play here. It has four big elements. Even if they were successful, they take us back to more or less where America was before the 28th of February when it launched the attack.
That's it. That's all. All it is taking it back to where we were. So again, what was this costly, expensive war for? Can anybody that support this war tell me in the chat, please and thank you. Let's go.
The Strait of Hormuz was open before the 28th of February. We'd just be going back to what it was. Before the 28th of February, the Americans and the Iranians were already talking about all of the nuclear issues, about what happens to Iran's enriched uranium, what happens to Iran's determination to have a nuclear bomb. They can't have one. What happens to Iran's determination to maintain its civilian nuclear program? They say that's non-negotiable. So they'll be going back to where they were. Before the 28th of February, the Iranian government did not have sanctions relief and unfreezing of assets. So the present leaders in...
Right, they didn't have it, but they're getting ready to get it. Diamond Gang, please and thank you. Hit the like, hit the like. I need 19 more likes, please.
Iran would be in a better position than their predecessors were before the 28th of February. And before the war began, the ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel was holding. So a new ceasefire would just go back to where we were then. If this is the basis of the deal that President Trump is talking about, it would look like a loss for all of the destruction which the war has
Again, did you guys hear that? A loss
caused. Which may be why President Trump has today announced that only those states that are involved in the deal must be part of the Abraham Accords. It must be mandatory that they enter into these accords which normalize their relations with Israel. Now, that would be a particular problem for states like Saudi Arabia, not to mention Pakistan or Turkey, that have invested a great deal in pursuing their own policies towards Iran and the United States and Israel and issues of Palestinian statehood. And in a way, I think what the president is
I guarantee you they're not signing it. They're not signing that.
trying to do here is to say, never mind the paucity of the Iranian deal. It's all part of a grander scheme to remake the Middle East on a more stable basis. It's got a very long way to go. And I think this is an idea that's just come out of the White House without any consultation, took everybody by surprise. I think the president...
Hey, that's how he does it. Just like this war. He didn't ask intelligence. He got advice from Netanyahu, Witkoff, and Kushner. This is insane.
Finds himself backed into a really tight corner. And like lots of leaders, when they're backed into a tight corner, he's a gambler. So he gambles on trying to get out of it by launching the Iranian peace deal as part of something. But
didn't I say that? Trump is backed in the corner. He has to deal with the issue with China and Taiwan with the package, the weapons package. We just got threats from Russia. and our allies. Okay, if he bombs Iran, the American people will be done with the Republican Party. If he goes with the deal, then the MAGA base people will be mad at him. He's getting it from all sides. Let's go.
Bigger. I don't think he'll succeed. It will be a neat trick if he can, that's for sure.
Donald Trump woke up this morning lashing out at Democrats and Republicans as a bipartisan bill has been introduced in Congress to end Donald Trump's weaponization fund, the $1.8 billion.
We're about to get into his finances. Let's go, Diamond Gang. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Let's go. 18 more.
/fund. Congress is taking action. And this morning, Trump woke up on Memorial Day not too happy. He was lashing out at Republicans online for the fact that they're going against his Iran deal. That's not really a deal and hasn't really been executed. He posted this Memorial Day message saying, "Happy Memorial Day to all, including the Democrats who disrespect our military and all of the tremendous success that it has had over the last year." But this morning, Brian Fitzpatrick, a Republican member of Congress, has officially begun the process of undoing Donald Trump's weaponization fund. You already have Republican support. You're likely going to get more Republican support. It seems like for the first time, you have Republicans in Congress willing to stand up to him.
Yep, they are finally speaking out. So I don't know where that individual was that was in the beginning of this live stream that said that MAGA was not erupting. And yes, they are. They're getting tired of him. They're getting tired of the shenanigans. It's just getting out of control.
And it's happening right now. Spread the word, follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. And as always, subscribe to my Substack link in bio to support my work.
Now, let's get into it. You said MAGA is the valuable third party. Listen, this is who he wants some of this slush fund money to go to. And I brought this for a reason because I believe everybody forgot what these people truly did, that they were found guilty of. Okay? Let's go.
On January 6th, rioters caused around $3 million worth of damage to the U.S. Capitol.
$3 million. And guess what? Because they received pardons, their restitution is forgiven. Let's go. $3 million. They tore the Capitol, destroyed government property.
These videos all came from exhibits presented by prosecutors in court. At NPR, we reviewed thousands of these videos, and they show how people didn't just smash windows and doors to storm the building. They also used the riot to steal stuff.
Yo, take laptops, paperwork, take everything. Hey, help yourselves, guys. Go in the house. Go in the house.
And party.
Three smoking the Capitol, boys.
One rioter told me it was like a bunch of frat bros.
The disrespect is unbelievable. This is total. This is disrespectful. I still can't believe grown adults chose to do this. Grown people. Not only that, a lot of them pled guilty. Anybody that's okay with their hard-earned money, they worked hard, and their tax money going to these degenerates is crazy.
Stormed the Capitol. People smoked and got drunk and high.
Oh, we're smoking weed in the fucking time to smoke weed in here.
The damage was not.
What is cool about this shit? What is cool? And I'm gonna play this back again.
Just inside the building, outside, rioters destroyed cameras from the media.
Fucking traitors! Get the fuck out of here!
Y'all cool with y'all money going to these type of people? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all cool with it. If you're not, put a 2 in the chat. Are y'all okay with your money going to these people? I'm not. This is disgusting. No respect. None.
Get the fuck out of here!
Convicted rioters were supposed to pay restitution to help with the cost of fixing the Capitol. But when President Trump issued mass pardons for the defendants, they no longer had to pay.
You heard that? When he issued the pardons, they no longer had to pay. I'm running this back For the replay gang, whoever watched this shit, I need y'all to see this. This is disgusting. Let's go.
On all the news you need to know about. And as always, subscribe to my Substack, link in bio, to support my work.
On January 6th, rioters caused around...
And they had enough balls and enough nerves to say that their goddamn lives was destroyed by the Biden administration? Please, get the hell out of here.
$3 million worth of damage to the U.S. Capitol.
This is our house! Wait, I said!
These videos all came from exhibits presented by prosecutors in court. At NPR, we reviewed...
This is a damn disgrace.
Thousands of these videos, and they show how people didn't just smash windows and doors to storm the building, they also used the riot to steal stuff.
Yo, take laptops, paperwork, take everything. Hey, help yourselves, guys.
They literally destroyed government property and stole government property. Trump is out of his damn mind.
And party.
Three smoke in the Capitol, boys.
One rioter told me it was like a bunch of frat bros stormed the Capitol. People smoked and got drunk and high.
And for them to get on national TV and cry and whine when they made these choices is complete, utter bullshit.
Time to smoke weed in here.
The damage was not just inside the building. Outside, rioters destroyed cameras from the media.
Fucking traitors! Get the fuck out of here!
And I thought it was important because it happened a while ago. People forgot what it looked like. Y'all forgot what the fuck it looked like. It looked like this. Nobody should be okay with this. Nobody.
Get the fuck out of here!
Convicted rioters were supposed to pay restitution to help with the cost of fixing the Capitol. But when President Trump issued mass pardons for the defendants, they no longer had to pay.
It is officially a slush fund. That is the agreed upon Washington term for Donald Trump's fund for paying people who committed crimes for Donald Trump.
Biden didn't ruin their lives at all. You want to know who was weaponized? They were, by Trump. When he made that call and they thought it was cool to go in there and do that.
Democrats started calling it a slush fund right away, but now Republicans are calling it a slush fund. Former Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell called it a slush fund.
It was very, every time when I seen that video, I got so bitter and angry. Sometimes I gotta detach from this. Sometimes I need to take a break to be consumed with this ugliness. This administration is trash.
Fund today. Mitch McConnell, who is the senior senator from Kentucky, can now be counted as a no vote on Donald Trump's slush fund when it comes to a vote in the United States Senate. Sometimes it's difficult to find the right word, the right phrase, the right label for the latest Trumpian madness, the latest Trumpian crime against sanity. But now Republicans and Democrats agree it's a slush fund. We will soon have polling on Donald Trump's slush fund. But as of now, every new poll that comes out already.
This one is going to take him down to the ground. He's already in the negatives.
Shows Donald Trump at new lows in that poll. Imagine how much lower Donald Trump is going to go in the...
And it's disgusting because he's destroying the Republican Party. What little bit of faith that people have in them, he's destroying it.
Next round of polls that begin next week or later, when the slush fund finally gets factored into the polls. Senator Mitch McConnell's official statement today was simple. So the nation's top law enforcement official is asking for a slush fund to pay people who assault cops. Utterly stupid, morally wrong. Take your pick. The answer is, of course, both. You don't have to pick. The answer.
Somebody came in here, MAGA lives matter most. You hate us all? I love it when they come in here and troll because they mad. They're mad because they hear the truth. Don't be mad at us. We're just a messenger. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. But anyway, I had to look at that deleted comment. That's hilarious. Let's go.
The answer is utterly stupid and morally wrong. That's Donald Trump. Republican Senator Tom Tillis is now the best Republican phrase maker opposed.
What up, Mike? What's going on? Thank you, Boo. Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, like, get your ass out. You hate us. Why you here? Get out of here. Like, what? Let's go. 10 more likes. Hit the like. I need 10 more. I need 10 more, please, and thank you. Please subscribe to the channel. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. I give these updates. I used to do them 4 times a week. I'm down to twice a week because I am trying to build on Rumble. Okay? So please, 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 please subscribe to the channel. And if you're on Rumble, follow me on Rumble.
Donald Trump's slush fund, calling it a, quote, payout pot for punks and stupid on
I love that, payout for punks. I love that name.
stilts and tyranny.
I think it's stupid on stilts. Why? Because it will invariably put us in a position where your taxpayer dollars and my taxpayer dollars could potentially compensate someone who assaulted a police officer, admitted their guilt, got convicted, got pardoned, and now we're going to pay them for that? That's absurd. The American people are going to reject us out of hand. When you take money from me to give to a purpose that I vehemently disagree with, that's tyranny.
Wait, which guy? John? You said that guy is very, very stupid. You could feel the disdain for the American people. Who? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Big Mike. All right, let's go.
There's been a lot of reporting about how much Trump has made.
Now we're about to get into the money, okay? The money. He is enriching himself, his family. He said they want to be deemed as the most wealthiest family in the world. Okay? It's all about the dollar.
Since he's become president the second time, and it's billions.
Oh, the older man that was narrating, he don't like him. You're right about that. You said, wait, which guy? Lawrence, what's his name? Okay, I think I know you talking about the older man that was narrating. All right, he don't like him. He every time he come on, he say something mean.
And billions of dollars. So financial disclosure reports were due on Friday,
What's up, RAI? What up, baby?
and we got Trump's. There are several things you should know. Number one, he is trading so much. 7 months into the second term, he had made around 700 trades. Then it jumps up dramatically in the
Pay attention. So he started out with 700 trades. Let's take a listen, gang.
last couple months. He has now made.
Yep. Robin said it, O'Donnell. Yep. You are so right. I don't know why people can't see it. I promise you I don't. But, you know, it is what it is. Some will and some won't. All right, let's go.
Over 3,700 trades. The problem.
Did y'all hear that? So he went from 700 to over 3,700 trades and promoted these. Had something to do with them. But let's take a listen, gang. He made a lot of money.
Is the trades correspond with decisions he made or work that he was involved in. He had
Via said, I see it. I know you do. I know you do.
Information, and then they make the trades and he makes tons of money. This comes from one reporter, Judd Lugum at Popular Information. On March 11th, Trump buys a bunch of Thermo Scientific stock. Also on March 11th, Trump visited Thermo Scientific and praised the company and encouraged pharmaceutical companies to partner with it. and that helped boost the stock. On March 25th, Trump purchases a bunch of Micron stock. The next day, Trump calls into Fox News and says he just met with the Micron CEO and calls Micron one of the hottest companies. He's clearly helping the stock, which ultimately makes him money. Trump purchases $1 million to $5 million.
People's game. And wait till you guys hear how much he ended up with it after, when it's all said and done. I need 7 more likes. Come on, gang.
In Dell stock. A couple weeks later, Trump tells an audience to go out and buy a Dell computer, saying the company makes phenomenal products. He's using his office to make money in the stock market. We're not talking about a little bit of money. He's making billions. Just a few more. Trump has bought a ton of NVIDIA stock, and the CEO of NVIDIA spends a ton of time with Trump, including being invited on the trip to China. Oracle, Trump has invested a ton in Oracle. Oracle is run by a guy named Larry Ellison, who is one of Trump's biggest donors. And Trump has helped Oracle significantly. He got a no-bid contract with the VA, and now they've officially taken a stake in TikTok, which is something that Trump helped orchestrate. And then there's Intel. Trump bought a bunch of Intel stock.
Let me say this real quick. Please, if you have a Rumble account, get over there, subscribe, or follow me on Rumble, and subscribe if you would like. Listen, YouTube is changing the rules to the game. Now they got this AI bot. Thousands of channels were demonetized. Mine was one of them. They're taking channels up off of here. If you go on X and type in YouTube creators, you will see thousands of creators that put time, energy, and effort into their content. And because the AI bot don't know how to decipher whether it is human or AI, they are wiping these channels up out of here. Some of your favorite content creators have been demonetized or channels removed. So please, 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 please follow me on Rumble, because I promise you, if they take mine, they already grabbed my monetization. If they take mine, I'm not coming back. So head over there to Rumble. Let's go.
Remember, we as a government took a 10% stake in Intel last year.
And until they get this glitch fixed, this is what it's going to be. So some of your favorite content creators will be affected. And I mean, they are doing this by the thousands. Okay? So if your favorite content creator got other platforms, get over there to their other platforms.
Subsequently, Intel's stock price has skyrocketed, and Trump has said that he wished the government took a larger stake. Now, you're probably asking yourself, is this conflict of interest, and is he manipulating the market to his own financial benefit? Yes, Trump should do what I did, which is sell all of his individual stocks, have it be in a managed fund or...
Thank you, Robin. Yeah, anybody that got a Rumble, get over there. They promote freedom of speech. Content creators, as soon as you get over there, you are monetized, okay? They review your content. It's pending. There is no AI bots. It's human reviews. So I got freedom over there to be who I want to be. So I need y'all to get over there, because what's going on YouTube, it's not okay. Some of these creators depend on this solely. This is their sole income, and they are snatching their channels. Don't believe me? Good, put it in the search. You're going to see a bunch of videos. Okay? Let's go.
A blind trust, and we should pass a law that says no elected official, whether you're a member of Congress or the President of the United States, should be able to buy and sell individual stocks.
What do you do if you're Donald Trump and you begin to sense that everything is collapsing around you?
And I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like the crash outs, the things that he's getting older, but I feel a lot of this is coming from him being boxed in. He has gotten himself in a mess, and he don't know how to get out. I am human. Even though I don't like Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? This has to be the most stressful, thing that he has ever went through, because it's coming from all sides. It's coming from everywhere. But let's go.
This is Donald Trump, the ultimate cynical man. Donald Trump, the I don't give a shit about anything but myself man. Well, you probably try to fix the election system so that you can keep on going. But if you understand.
And the reason why I'm saying that too, because when you're boxed in like that, you then become dangerous. You become dangerous. Let's go.
And that might not be enough. You think more practically.
What's fake about my news? I got him, y'all. Okay. You can disagree with whatever I'm saying. Put it in the chat. I'm fine. Once you become disrespectful, you'll be removed. That's it in a nutshell. I want people to be able to say what they want to say, okay? But you just can't be disrespectful. You can have an opposing opinion. This is a safe space. Once you become disrespectful, I will remove you. My mods will remove you. You're entitled to feel however you want to feel. You don't have to agree with me. Okay?
You ask the question, what can I get while the getting is still good? In other words, the billions he's made so far, the $1.8 billion slush fund this week, together with the tax immunity for himself and his family, is just the beginning. What's going on now?
What you mean? That is exactly what everyone does in power. You mean get away with stuff like this? But this is the most corrupt administration I've seen in my lifetime. I've never even read about a more corrupt administration. So, all right, let's go.
Or actually, everything that's going on now is a cover for the real.
Wait a minute. You said only Donald Trump can judge you? Stop it. You got to know there's somebody mightier than him. All right, let's go.
Enterprise, which is enriching Donald Trump. He is going to negotiate himself out of the White House.
I can't block and remove if they disagree, if they don't agree. Generational corruption. Yeah, because you can. You're right about that. You are right. He is trying to get every dime and nickel that he can on his way out the door.
It will be between the havoc he can create and the money that will satisfy him. That's the question that's going to be asked by Congress, by the courts, by almost everybody in political life.
You said stick to the celebrity gossip. No, he's cool. You could you tapped him out. He's cool. He's always in here. He always has an opposing opinion. Yellow is always in here. It's okay, EJ. Yellow, they got you. All right, let's go.
November is going to be a great defeat for Donald Trump. But before the system catches up with him, he's going to try to smash it by looting it and creating a system.
But I tell you this, he's about the only one that could get away with that. He's about Yellow Summer is the only one that could get away with that. You said, LOL, I was going to say that. Yeah, he always teasing me. He always saying something. I don't pay Yellow Summer no mind. All right, let's go.
Of Trump wealth that cements his own fortune and that of a Trump
Hey, EJ loves some Yolanda here. That's my bodyguard, and he don't do no wrong in my eye. None of my mods do.
supporting American oligarchy.
I believe that. I believe that, Red. You said Joe Biden was corrupt too. He opened the doors for Trump to be just as corrupt. And I think right now the best choice is not left or right. I agree. It is something entirely new. You made a good point. Listen, I did not like Biden at all. And there's history behind that. I don't like him. I didn't like him. But at the time, I felt like I had to choose the lessers of the evil. You understand what I'm saying? They all are. But just Trump, what he's doing is just, it's on another level. What he is doing is on another level. Somebody, one person better hit that like in here. Hey, Kathy Perry, hit the like. I need one more like. All right, let's go. We're almost done. And then I'll take comments from the chat.
Downfall of Donald Trump is going to be one of the great profit-taking moments in political history.
I think Republicans are starting to come to terms with the fact that I don't know that he really cares whether they win or lose in the midterms. I think that he cares about looting as much money from the American people as possible and preventing accountability for himself after he leaves office.
I believe this right here. Right here. Yeah, Red, it's crazy. It's this, I never seen this level. I'm just like, wow. Thank you guys. I got 100 likes. All right, let's go.
You know, these Republicans, especially in the Senate, they are co-conspirators in a massive criminal enterprise. And it's going to roll over them if they're not careful. And I think you're starting to see them pipe up and speak up because their jobs are at risk here.
And so is this the dollar amount?
That part, they are starting to speak up. I truly believe if you know, we see a sea of blue, I do believe that they will go back and there will be many indictments. There will be many investigations. I definitely believe that. I do. Yeah, thank you all for participating.
Is it the
can we coexist? I think it'll take, if we get the right person in office, I believe we can. I do.
calendar? Is it the recipients? I asked earlier, is some of this the residue of the endorsement of Ken Paxton? Because we rarely see this breadth of rejection of something from the president.
I mean, it's coming at a time when the president's approval rating is lower than Joe Biden's was after the disastrous debate. And you have gas coming up on $5 a gallon. You know, you have people not able to afford groceries. The president is extremely unpopular right now. And so Republicans are seeing the writing on the wall. They're headed for a massive blue wave in November.
You said I won't vote for a Democrat, but I won't vote for a Republican, so I'm screwed either way. I'm going to be honest with you. I felt that way when Biden ran. It was Biden and Trump. I felt like that. I was distraught because I didn't like neither party at the time. So, all right, let's go. We almost done. This last piece is going to be on how Trump was in his first term versus his second one. And there is a difference. You said Trump duped MAGA, not a single I know. It's crazy.
That's going to roll over all of them if they don't speak up and stand up. And I think that's what you're seeing right now. I think it's not about principles. I think it's about they're seeing the political writing on the wall and they know that they have to do something about it.
I think he is a more mature.
Listen, Jeff Bezos said this. I think he's more mature this term. Like, what? Jeff didn't lost his mind. Listen.
More disciplined version of himself than he was in his first term. That's what Jeff Bezos.
I said mature. He said disciplined. I don't think so. He has no discipline this term.
Said about President Trump this week. I'm puzzled by this statement from an obviously intelligent and accomplished businessman. I look at Trump's second term and I see the ham-handed efforts to.
Because you can say when Dems are in office, the economy booms. Yeah. All right, let's get it.
And next, Greenland and Canada. Massive tariff hikes on most of the world. A cruel immigration crackdown that was both lawless and ineffective. And the sudden launching of a war without UN sanction, congressional consultation, or any clear strategy. If this is maturity, I would shudder to think what Trump's immature phase would look like. The opposite is actually closer to the truth. Trump's first term was disciplined, more disciplined, not because he was disciplined.
It was who he had around him. Okay? He said that in his first term, it wasn't that he was more disciplined because of who he had around him. Let's take a look.
But because he was constrained, he often deferred, however grudgingly, to the Republican establishment and national security elites. His early legislative agenda was shaped by Speaker Paul Ryan and executed by Chief of Staff Reince Priebus.
You see that? Everyone that he has around him was family, friends, chosen by someone else. Like the people that he had around him in the first term, big difference. Big difference.
Economic advisor Gary Cohn repeatedly talked him out of the global tariff hikes he had long wanted. The generals whom he surrounded himself with urged caution.
Robert said that the Democrats will destroy America. Trump is doing great. So let me ask you this, Rob. What do you think about this war? And what do you think about this agreement? What he's about to do? Because you know what he's doing. He's about to mock the Obama deal. He's going to lift sanctions, and he's going to actually give them more of their assets back. So how do you feel about that? He's going to put Iran in a better position. How do you feel about that? Because MAGA they're not okay with that. Let me know in the chat. And I'm being serious. Just answer the question. I need someone that supports him to give me a good answer. So, you said you love Iran? All right, let's go.
On Iran, support for NATO, and arms for Ukraine. The lesson Trump drew from that first term, however, was not that expertise mattered. It was that experts were not loyal enough. After the January 6th attack, you see, many of his senior officials distanced themselves from him. Some denounced him.
You hear that? From his first term, they distanced themselves from him. Some of them even denounced him. Okay, the Republican Party. Let's go.
So this time, he has surrounded himself with people whose chief qualification is fealty. The less distinguished the resume, the better.
So he surrounded himself with, I'll say something nice, a bunch of individuals who are really not qualified to be in those positions. Okay, I'll say that. Let's go.
Such people owe everything to him. Process has given way to impulse, procedure to instinct, government to gut. But the starkest difference between Trump 1.0 and Trump 2.0 is not policy. It is enrichment. Its scale, its brazenness, its open contempt for restraint. The day before Bezos made his remarks, the acting Attorney General of the United States announced that the Justice Department would grant Trump, his family, and his businesses immunity from all audits and investigations for any past tax-related misconduct, and the announcement claimed it would last forever. The week before, Trump disclosed that his stock portfolio had executed around 3,700 trades in the first quarter alone, a staggering number, many following a suspiciously convenient pattern. A stock bought shortly before government action or statement that benefited it. On January 6th of this year, for example, the Trump portfolio bought $500,000 of NVIDIA stock. A week later, NVIDIA received U.S. clearance to sell its H200 chips to China.
Yeah, this is insane. I mean, you figure this war they're making even money off of the war. The sons are making millions off of these drones. I mean, it just goes on. And not to even mention the Trump phones. Nobody got their phones. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? All right, let's go.
That was not all. The Commerce Department this week announced an investment in a quantum computing company in which a member of the Trump family holds interests. And don't forget the $500 million UAE investment in a Trump family crypto venture, the $2 billion UAE investment using that company's stablecoin, the flurry of new Trump organization real estate deals, or the drone company in which the Trump family invested and that later miraculously received a Pentagon contract. One number says it all. Reuters calculates that from the first half of 2024 to the first half.
Guys, please, and thank you. Is it paint code? You can just please misspell the curse words. You can say whatever you want to say. Like I said, you don't have to agree, but please misspell the curse words. Okay?
Half of 2025, the Trump organization's income rose from $51 million to $864 million. This does suggest discipline, a relentless discipline.
That right there, for me, it's like Trump lied just to get into office. And since it's his last term, he's going to do what he wants anyways. I believe that too. No, I saw good. I wanted to read that, and I'm still going to read it. I can see it. I live by mostly MAGA, and every one of them I've talked to are livid over Iran. I said that. Where was you at earlier? And how he screwed up deportation. Yep. Kissed Bibi's butt. On and on and on. Yep. These are very big Trump supporters. You ain't never lied. I wish you were in here in the beginning of this live stream. Dang. All right, let's go.
Devoted to monetizing the presidency. But somehow I doubt that is what Jeff Bezos had in mind. The Trump organization has maintained that Trump himself, his family, and the organization don't have any role in directing or influencing specific investments. The deeper question is, why is this?
Heather, misspell the curse words. That's all you had to do, and that comment could have stayed.
Possible, and why has it produced so little resistance? Scholars of corruption have long assumed that in advanced democracies, graft becomes subtle and institutional. Campaign donations, lobbying networks, consulting contracts. Trump has taken the elaborate machinery of an advanced industrial state and used it to accelerate something far cruder, old-fashioned personal grift.
Yep. Old-fashioned personal grift. He's definitely a grifter.
The public may be troubled, but his MAGA base doesn't seem to be, and that is the only constituency that could restrain him. In a hyperpolarized country.
And I believe that they can restrain him. They got so upset that he made a U-turn on these negotiations. Went from we got a deal to we don't have to rush.
Corruption is no longer judged as an objective moral failing. It is filtered through tribe. If our side does it, it's either fake news, clever politics, or totally justified revenge. This reveals
that part, bestie. Misspell all curse words. It is not that hard.
There's a deeper weakness in the American system. The founding fathers built a magnificent constitutional framework, but it rested on an assumption that they did not spell out, that public officials...
And he has no respect for the Constitution. This administration has none.
Officials would retain some shared commitment to unwritten civic norms. Madison's design, ambition must be made to counteract ambition, assumed that Congress would jealously guard its powers against the executive. He did not imagine a political party that would surrender its institutional ambition to the personality cult of one man. The legal guardrails are weaker than most Americans realize. The president is largely exempt from standard federal conflict of interest laws. Many of the actions I've described would expose...
Yeah, because the trading 3,700 times and him promoting a company, that's definitely a conflict of interest.
Even the senior most cabinet secretary to grave legal peril. For president, the Supreme Court has decided that the only remedy for official acts is impeachment, and 2/3 of the Senate voting for conviction, which in our partisan age requires a civic miracle.
Right, because the Republicans are not going to do that. But who knows? For this slush fund, they voted and it didn't work. Todd Blanche, who is doing everything to get this job, this is insane. He actually met with the Republicans to try to get them to change their mind. It's unfortunate because, he could potentially lose his law license behind the mess that he's doing with Trump. But it's sad. It's just sad what people will do.
The mature response to these travesties is not revenge, but a restoration of the rule of law. After Trump, the urgent task for the American Republic will be to turn norms into statutes, curtail the ethical immunities of the presidency, and find legal ways to ensure.
You best believe, I believe once Trump get out of office, they're going to create all types of laws. I'm telling you, this will never happen again.
That the highest public office in the world can never again become a platform for family business.
We're learning more about the man who opened fire Saturday on a Secret Service.
We're going to briefly talk about the young man that lost his life. He had mental health issues. He was 21-year-old Nazir Best of Maryland. He was gunned down by Secret Service and he died on the way to the hospital. He had multiple encounters with them, last year in June and July.
This checkpoint near the White House. President Trump was in the building at the time. The suspect was killed. Officials say he had a history of arrests. The Trump administration is now calling this an assassination attempt and using it to boost its case for a new White House ballroom.
And that's another reason why I brought this, because I knew he was going to cry about that ballroom. He's going to insist, which that is also on hold. He said he had private donors, and now he's looking for us to pay for this. This is ridiculous. He done stole enough and schemed and scammed. Pay for it your damn self.
Gunshots sent visitors scrambling.
Possible shooting at 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest.
As journalists at White House took cover.
Republican support on Capitol Hill.
Listen, back last year, all they did was brought him in, questioned him. He had to get an evaluation, a mental health evaluation, and that's it. That's where I say they dropped the ball, because more should have happened to this man last year. And maybe we wouldn't be here today with this situation. Mental health, that whole system is just a mess. All right, it's gotten better since COVID, but it's not where it should be. There's too many people running around here with mental health issues and not getting enough help.
Aaron Navarro ducked as he prepared for a report on the CBS Weekend News. Bullet holes and shattered glass along Pennsylvania Avenue mark where the shooting happened in a busy tourist area. Police say the gunman, 21-year-old Nazir Best, fired several shots towards the Secret Service booth with a revolver he pulled from his messenger bag before officers fired over a dozen gunshots back. Best was declared dead at a nearby hospital. Court records show Best previously blocked a White House entry lane last June. He was sent for a mental evaluation, but again tried to enter the property.
You see that? He was sent for a mental evaluation. That's it. That's all. And I said it when it first came out. What happened? That he was able to do this a couple weeks later, and then again. The ball was dropped. But let's go.
just 2 weeks later, telling agents he was, quote, Jesus Christ and wanted to be arrested. He was arrested and a judge ordered him to stay away from the White House. The latest shooting comes just weeks after a Texas man allegedly shot Secret Service officers near the Washington Monument. And a month.
I think even with that guy, the ball was dropped. The correspondence dinner guy, that ball was dropped because its own family members called the police on him. It's like, what is going on?
After a California man allegedly shot at Secret Service at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. A male.
I agree, Angel. You said the system failed this young man big time. They dropped the ball. So,
Bystander was also struck near the security checkpoint behind me. He's in serious but stable condition.
Listen, based off of those notes that the correspondence dinner guy was writing, those memorandas, and he gave them to his family members, that should have been an automatic 72-hour, and then even more after the, they brought him in and did the assessment. They dropped the ball. What did the police do about that? So, yeah, they are understaffed. You said, who cares when they need, yeah, that too, when they need a scapegoat. I ain't think about that either.
President Trump, who was actually at the White House at the time, has thanked the Secret Service for their, quote, swift and professional action. He's also suggested that the incident shows the need for the ballroom he's building to become what he calls, quote, the most safe and secure space.
This dude is out of his mind. It didn't happen directly at the White House. The correspondent dinner were for reporters, okay? So it would have never been held at the White House. He cried about the ballroom then. Like, get over it.
Of its kind ever built.
All right, gang, that is it for tonight. I'm going to take a couple of comments. And, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for some reason. So if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Keep your notifications on. Again, I am over there on Rumble. If you have a Rumble account, come on over. Meek, you said you was going to get one. EJ, you better get one. Robin already said she got me. Y'all better get a Rumble and come on over there. My boy Mitch is over there. Mitch done got his mod wrench already, man. Y'all better quit playing and get y'all butts over there. Get over there. Here go a MAGA. Nah, they getting tired of your mom. They getting tired of your mom. Let me ban this broad real quick. She looked like a stud. A MAGA stud. Don't come over here trolling me because you'll get trolled back. You have no idea where I came from. Okay? You have no idea what sector I came from. You don't want to troll me in here. Hold on. Let me scroll down some, so I could read some of y'all comments. And that chick got away with it, because I'm way far up in the comments. You got away with it this time, lady MAGA. They kill me. Yeah, she looked like a MAGA stud. Stop coming in here in my chat being disrespectful. You can say what you want to say. You just can't, and don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger. Get mad at your boy. People kill me. They act like I'm doing something. No. What? They are. EJ, you I had to troll back. You know I don't mean no harm. Everybody's welcome. But yeah, they come over here. The trolls come over here and they get mad. It's like, if you don't want to hear the truth, just exit. Exit. You're entitled to feel any way that you want to. And this is a safe space to do it. You just can't be disrespectful. That's all I'm saying. That's it. So it's insane. Right. The truth hurts. It hurts. Yeah. But I don't get a lot of trolls anymore like I used to. You know, when I first started out, I was getting trolled left and right. It was ridiculous. So, but gang, please, 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 Diamond Gang. They want confirmation, not the truth. Right? Girl, bye. Another troll banned. Don't come in here talking about nothing about Africa. You said I identified as a student of history. What? I don't know what that is at the end or what that means. Bruce, I've seen you in here before, I think. I know you've been here before. Maybe not. Hold on. Well, I don't know what that previous comment was, but I just, I got you up out of here. Sorry. When you started, it was wild, wasn't it? It was. Yeah, because you know what? When I first started out, I was doing earlier live streams, like 8 o'clock. And then at one time I was late and I said I still wanted to come on. And that's how I start doing the late night live streams. And I liked it over here. So, but I do miss some of the people. So, but yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Keep your notifications on. And again, please subscribe. Please, please, please to my Rumble channel. I am trying to grow over there. So, and I like it over there. It's a whole different vibe. So it's a whole different vibe. Right? So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. It is almost 1:30 a.m. This was a good live stream. To all my moderators, I love you guys down. You said you got to LOL go all out on the MAGA trolls anyways. Yup. The good ones stick. Yup. You know I'm going to play it. Yep, this right here. This right here. If you would like to support the channel, there is the Cash App. And on that note, I want to say shouts out to my moderators. I picked y'all for a reason. Y'all always show up and show out for your girl. I appreciate you guys. And I love you down. To my subscribers, I love you down. And to my new subscribers, I love you down. All right, guys. I'm on my way up out of here. Keep your note for 2 days. I will definitely be streaming, giving war updates over there on Rumble tomorrow. So get your asses over there and follow me. The great spills the tea. All right, y'all.
It's your under the trees. Sip on me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under the degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me, sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this sipping his tea, spilling his sipping his tea, spilling his tea, spilling his sipping 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 his tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's Yolanda the Great, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea, sip with me. Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling 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 and sipping this tea.